few generations. Like, relax, everybody. We can do things a little bit differently now. What we have done is allowed Congress to basically do a lot of things that isn't really beneficial to us, and that's on both sides of the aisle. I agree with that one. I don't like these big, huge continuing resolutions. I don't like omnibus bills. I think they're a detriment. I think it's impossible that you believe your senators and congresspeople actually are reading these on any side of the aisle. I mean, you might get one or two, but I'm telling you, this 50 to 75,000 federal, what are they, special K, whatever they are, those workers that are underneath that are actually writing your bills and taking into account all the lobbyists and all the little grifts that they want to have on there. Those guys, the Schedule F employees, those guys, you want to remove them because they're the ones that shouldn't be writing the bills. You actually elect somebody to go there and work on a bill and write the bill. And for those that are going to come back at me and say, well, we need those people, they understand the language. No, we didn't. We didn't have them. We don't need them. We never needed them. You just want to rely on them because it's a quick, easy way for your favorite PAC or lobbyist group to get in at your senator, to throw it in there, to give them their cue card talking points so they can make a fucking a hell of a good speech for 5 minutes on CNN or C-SPAN at some point in time.
Here's my question to you, Brad and Alan. Either one of you can answer. Brad, you know my economic position, but I'm pretty sure both of y'all are capitalists, right?
Yes, but I'm a controlled capitalist. I believe in controls. I'm not a free capitalist, like a free market kind of guy.
Okay.
Alan, you know I am not that
capitalist? Way. If you're there, or is he still on the phone call?
I have no idea.
Alan?
Okay, maybe he's still on the phone. It's just not showing. But no, I guess my big case, because I know there's a lot of free market cap, so maybe this criticism doesn't apply to you specifically, Brad, right? But would you say that there's a lot of people who do support Trump that are free market capitalists?
Yeah, I would say that because they believe he's going to tout with his Bitcoin bill, which I think is going to backfire. I think a lot of people think it's going to backfire, and I think Trump is not a free market capitalist. He just wants controls in one.
Okay, yeah, so I agree with the whole Bitcoin thing tanking, for sure. I agree that, and I think another criticism we can get into in a little bit that I think is valid is Trump's very weird switch up of crypto and how he felt about it in the span of 3 years, completely changing up from 2021 all the way to 2024 and 25. But one of the criticisms I had, especially towards the majority of the base that is free market capitalist, is how, and Roger made it the other day, which I think was an amazing point, how can you tout yourself to be a principled free market capitalist, yet you and the majority of the party base are caping for the tariffs and supporting them? It doesn't make sense to be a free market capitalist that's supposedly principled, but now also support insane protectionist tariffs at the same time.
I would have a problem with that. I'm actually for the tariffs. I think we should go back to that way, and I think we should also utilize the tariffs to lower our tax burdens in this country. A quick history lesson for those that don't know, that's how we used to fund our government, is through tariffs. It was only recently, we changed it historically. But I mean, actually, I'm okay with tariffs, but again, I'm okay with a lot of things. I think we should have legislation against monopolies. I think a lot of companies currently that I can see, I think Amazon should be broken up. I'll be the first to say it. I don't want to take his wealth, but I think that if you have too much control in the space and you actually have too much legislative power through all 50 states and territories, that it prevents any competition from arising.
Hey, that's one thing we can agree on.
I agree. I want legislation to break that up. I am not a free market guy. I want a free opportunity for everybody. It doesn't mean you get to control the entire.
So you're in favor. So let me put it this way: you are a capitalist, but you are in favor of regulation that increases opportunity for others to compete.
Correct. I'm also in massive favor for regulations like for PG&E. I want more regulations on PG&E and electrical companies nationwide. Why? Because PG&E recently, 5 years ago, got their profits protected by a small state legislation push to make sure their profits weren't there. But they were causing massive wildfires. This is an electrical company out west. I don't think they should be entitled to have that protection I don't think they should have that. I think you should be going after them. I think we as people should hold them accountable because it was your fucking transformers that were exploding, causing wildfires, killing people, burning homes, millions of acres of land. I don't want companies destroying this earth. I don't want pollutants. I don't want people dumping nuclear waste. I think free markets cannot account for how to control the vast genocide and destruction that'll occur if we just lift off all these and just allow the free market to exist. It won't balance out because we already see what these companies do. Dunlop, anybody? DuPont? We had all those disasters. Go look at Love Canal for those of you that don't know. That's free market in its entity, and the state sanctioned it and said, "Oh yeah, it's free market. We want to make sure we have that capitalist opportunity." So no, I want regulations. I just want smart ones.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And then I'll ask another one this way, because I've been curious of this, because this is something that I have to deal with, at least in my real shit, my real life and stuff, because this is the industry I work in. What is the Republicans' position on marijuana? Current, like, as a general mass position, what would you say, like, the majority of Republicans think about it today?
I think a lot of Republicans have switched. I think there's more on board with allowing it, and they're more about allowing that market to develop. I'm still old school. I also have an issue with liquor, but nobody's going to agree with my stance on it. I'm just saying I'm one of those that's probably best not asked. I think the war on drugs actually posed some good things in America, even though everyone else highlights all the negative. I often ask the question, well, what would have happened if we never had the war on drugs? How do you think it would have went? And no one can seem to answer that because I think it would be far worse. I don't know, actually. I'm not the guy to ask about that.
Yeah, because the reason I say it is only because, like, for example, in my state, Florida, there was a whole amendment that was supposed to be passed last year about the legalization of it, right? Now, the problem came is that I myself, surprisingly enough, voted no on that amendment. But it wasn't because I didn't want the legalization to happen. It was because of the structure of the bill and how it was supposed to go through. So the structure of the amendment basically was that there would be, I work at a smoke shop, like a mom and pop smoke shop that's right around the corner and stuff, right? There's a ton of them around this area. There's also a couple of the medical industries too, right? Now, the medical industry fucking hates us because we have something called THCA, THCP, and all that type of stuff we went through. And afterwards, they basically said that the goal of that bill was the fees in order to get a license to be able to sell was going to be in like the high 6 digits, low 7 digits, right? When it came to, I'm pretty sure who would own that. I'm pretty sure there's like almost 100% vertical integration plan that they had thinking of inside of there, according to the lawyers that went through it. And it felt like basically the entire medical industry was trying to monopolize the entire marijuana industry in Florida at that point, right? Which means that it would have put how many small businesses out, because the THCA and all that stuff is a big part of a lot of smoke shops' sales for the day, right? So it would have put a lot of the small small businesses out. It would have put a lot of people out of work, just so the bigger people like True Leaf, Grow Healthy, et cetera, could have more profits and basically a monopoly on the entire industry. Which is why I think regulation is necessary, because even when we want it for a good thing, we end up having people trying to take advantage of that and monopolize it, and then not let anybody else put their feet inside the box.
Well, let me just say, thank you, XG. I stopped smoking pot. I do the edible here and there, but I do support the slogan, "A friend with weed is a friend indeed." So it's popcorn style. I don't think anybody should be in prison for smoking weed or selling weed. I think marijuana should be decriminalized, and I think more people probably need to hit the blunt or two, so they could be a little bit more chilled out and less triggered, you know? I fully support. If I was running for presidency, I would pot for everyone. If you're down, fuck it. You know, everybody just needs to chill out, to be honest. So anyways, popcorn style, I can only stay until about 12, because then I got 12 my time, so that's about 20 minutes. My fellow mods, they'll decide if they want to keep the room open longer than that, because I have to prepare to host my own room, but it's popcorn style. And here comes my homie, Mr. Rolo, to the stage, but the mic is for anyone.
Yeah, I'll hop on real quick. I was away for a little bit, but just been reading the comments. You know, someone said illegal drugs have been I can't remember what they said, the downfall or have ruined this country. I think a lot of legal drugs have ruined this country. I just look at all the addictions that have happened because of legal drugs. Look at some manic episodes people have had, such as a lot of active shooters because of legal drugs. I mean, a lot of psychiatric medications, from anxiety medications, SSRIs. Actually, if you look at the labels, the side effects is homicidal, suicidal, thoughts and actions. And if you actually study, and it's something I did in my past, is when I studied different active shooters, a lot of them recently started certain medications. One example that I was heavily involved with was Steph Padlock from Las Vegas, the guy that shot a shitload of people. And it was the one thing that he had going for him that could have changed his personality, because I did talk to the FBI agent who was running that show. He recently started anti-anxiety medication. So, yeah, it's not just the legal drugs. And one drug that I would like to comment, a couple drugs that really saved my life, because I used to deal with some pretty bad PTSD, was psychedelics, but not just taking psychedelics for fun, using it in a therapy modality. Those are substances that have saved many lives and have done it for many, many years. Even the founder of AA, Bill W., he had an LSD experience, and that was his spiritual experience that he heavily talked about.